September is here, which means we have footy finals down under. That's right, the finals are set in the NRL. We'll talk all things rugby league to kick off the show. Plus, the Pies and Cats are through to the prelim. Giants and Dockers fans, poor things, will have to wait again with their teams going home. The NFL is here. The first Sunday slate of games is less than 8 hours away, plus a few sneaky games on the Friday and Saturday to talk about. We've got some soccer, international break, but the EPL is well underway, and the F1, they're getting ready to go in Monza, the Temple of Speed over in Italy. This is On The Esky, Aussie Sports Podcast. We like our Aussie sports. We also like our US international sport. If you're watching us on YouTube, we will put in some timestamps that you can skip to the sports that you like. We do have socials, Instagram, Facebook, X, and the like. And if you're finding us for the first time on YouTube, do us a favour and hit that subscribe button. We like to start the show off by shouting a beer. Shauno is the man on my left. How are you? And who are you shouting this week?
It's a good question. Who am I actually shouting with this? Because I'm not going to say the US Open because that tab's a bit big.
That's expensive.
But I wanted to, I guess we'll go with Sinner and Alcaraz. They have made it to their third in a row, I think, Grand Slam. And is that all three for this year, or is this
is the last one?
This is the last one, yes. Yeah. So the other one, I think Sinner made it, but Alcaraz didn't. Congrats, I guess, to them to as that tennis rollover, as you will, locking out Novak from being able to win any more Grand Slams. These two look like the future, for the foreseeable future of tennis. So I wanted to give them a shout out as a spot for US Open, and also mention that Sabalenka won the women's yesterday in a pretty dominant fashion as well. So, yeah, that's my shout of beer for the US Open.
Yeah, Rena could probably enjoy hers right now. I think Sinner and Alcaraz might need to wait a few hours.
Yeah, 4 a.m. our time, I think, is when they play.
Big day over there in the States, isn't it? Sabalenka, she's in some pretty good nick. That's her fourth career Grand Slam win. She's back-to-back at the US Open too. So, yeah, really getting into dominance, the world number one there. And I think we're going to see plenty more of these two moving forward.
Yeah.
Monks, who you got?
Yeah. You said you thought your tab might be big if you went for the US Open. I am going to open up an even bigger tab with all of the NFL fans out there. So it's been 5th of January since it was week 18 of the regular season 2024. And now we're here at the start of the 2025 season.
9 months.
Yes. Yep, that's it. And about 4 months for a lot of wives not seeing their husbands on the weekends.
Early Monday mornings for us.
Early Monday mornings. Yeah, that's it.
50 important fantasy teams to look after. So, yeah.
Yep, that's it. So, yeah, as you alluded to at the top, we had a couple of sneaky games over the weekend here. So, Dallas versus Philly, Kansas and Los Angeles was an international game over in Brazil, wasn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, 4 months of more football for us as our season sort of come to a close.
Expensive shout for you, Monks. Enjoy NFL fans of the world. And, yeah, we'll get stuck into all things NFL probably about an hour or so into the show. Definitely one of our favourite sports.
Ooh, yeah.
This has become a bit of a theme with me, but the Wallabies, hey, they keep winning games. They
keep shouting in beers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're doing well. A bit of rugby league about that, isn't there? So they beat Los Pumas.
So the only social media advertising they do is with us. So
yeah, that's about it, isn't it? Anyways, I'm going to shout the Wallabies a beer. They beat Los Pumas up there in Townsville. Pretty gutsy decision from skipper Harry Wilson, showing the balls of steel. They could have done a very rugby union thing and kicked a penalty goal to walk away with a draw and end the game there. Opted to keep the footy and keep attacking, and Angus Bell crashed over in the 86th minute to win. Walk-off victory there puts us second on the rugby championship table. 3 games down, 3 games remaining. We do have the return game against the Pumas next week, which is in Australia, and then into the Bledisloe. So 2 of the 3 remaining games left will be down under, and Australian rugby definitely going in the right directions.
Yeah, wins is important, definitely.
Definitely so. So enjoy your beer courtesy of the Esky, the Wallabies. Shauno, we've seen some pretty poorly behaved fans, so a bit of a sharing of the mop of the week. You got a few of the stories here for us for the mop of the week?
Yes, yeah, we want to give the mop to the fans, you guys out there, And, maybe it's a product of the society we live in at the moment where it's get yours and fuck everyone else.
Capitalism.
Yeah, because it kind of kicked off pretty early in I think the start of the week or end of last week at the US Open with Polish CEO snatching a hat that was looking like it was intended for a young fan. And, his company then got review bombed, and then there was a few fake statements that came out which went viral, which made the thing blow out of proportion way worse. Luckily for the kid, the tennis player, didn't write, so a whole bunch of things, got to see him afterwards. That was followed up by a dude stealing a ball from an elderly gentleman in a baseball game and, wrestling with him over it and nicking it away, and, no remorse there at all. And then I think it was yesterday in the Phillies game, a Karen, as defined, had a ball, not even landing near them, not even in their row, bounced to some other father, and he picked it up and gave it to his son, who was his birthday.
Really? On his birthday?
Yeah, on his birthday. And then she storms over and says, "That's mine, Narati Rada," and nicks it from him. There's a pretty good photo of her holding the ball, looking at it like her precious.
Yeah.
So, or I've seen some rumours about she's a teaching assistant and all the students will get stuck in there and she's most likely going to get fired, but that also might be bullshit.
Believe everything you read online. It's all true.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
But the Phillies did the kid solid as well, gave him a whole bunch of signs. He got to meet some of the players afterwards. So, if you're going to nick things from children or the elderly, don't do it at sports events.
On cameras.
Yeah. And then and it also followed for Sinner, like some dude trying to open his bag, potentially trying to nick his racket out of it as a souvenir. And then we had, down here in Australia, we had Nick Ruivold had a guy kind of not abusing him, but like chanting and then got too close.
He snuck up on him like a librarian.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny, but Nick didn't see the humour.
No, he put his hands on him. So Nick shoved him off, and he complained. I think, what did he say? I'd been tackled.
No. Channel 7 was reporting it as him being tackled. I don't think that came out of Nick's mouth.
Oh, okay. Because that's not what it is. They need to put some Sean Taylor highlights on it. If you want to know what the tackle looks like.
It was a hug, but it was from behind. And
exactly. Snuck on him. He doesn't know who he is, etc.
Yeah, if you've got no clue what's going on in a public place,
but
the celebrity, it's
the entitled fan and the fan taking it too far. And then, trying to get what theirs and screwing everyone else over. That's the big mop of the week that we think we should cover off, because it has been a pretty dreadful, I guess, experience. And again, if you're going to do this, don't do it at sporting events or around sports where there's fuckloads of cameras, because you will get found out, and the social media absolutely loves to bury you. So
you're saying if you want to steal from children or the elderly, do it at schools or nursing homes.
Nicking lollipops out of prams is way easier than doing it at a sporting event. The old Simpsons.
Something about stealing candy from babies is meant to be easy. All right, well, that's plenty of mops going out around the world for the poorly behaved fans this week.
Yes.
All right, from poor behaviour, let's get stuck into the NRL.
Yes.
We do have finals footy, and we'll talk about the final round of the NRL this year, round 27. The Broncos beat the Storm Thursday night, but all of the hullabaloo throughout the week was around a certain video of a certain Broncos fullback deciding to, what was that, for recovery?
Recovery helps
muscle recovery.
Get some electrolytes out of the toilet bowl.
Hilarious. Have you seen that?
A bit of Bear Grylls about it.
There was.
Have you seen that he also changed his Instagram? He did he got his face, his profile pic, and changed AI of him as a plumber, and he's put that as his profile. Hilarious.
He can obviously have a laugh about it because he scored a try in this game as well, and did
the gulp celebration.
The toilet water celebration.
Gulp, gulp.
What a time to be alive, where the toilet bowl celebration is a way to celebrate after scoring a try. Interesting game in terms of the season itself. Jerome Hughes comes back, which I thought was an interesting decision, maybe just to try and get some run in his legs. That's right, some match fitness even before next weekend. But he breaks his wrist.
Yep.
So copped a knee on his sort of end of his radius there, and he's likely going to miss the rest of the year.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Breaking, you're not expected to break something, I guess, is the thinking from the Storms. Is
sure.
You're probably more worried about soft tissue injuries.
His shoulder is probably
exactly. But very unfortunate to go out and injure something else in this.
See?
But it's tough. And follow up with Pappy and his concussion as well. Like, it's a wrong time of the year for that sort of stuff. This is where you want to be getting healthy to go into a final.
Yeah. Nelson's out as well. His
Suspension.
Yep. So we got
Did he
3
get 3
out.
weeks?
Doesn't mind a suspension, big Nas.
Yeah. We had prior, so I think
no,
even
that's
with guilty,
straightforward.
that's
Future
why
right.
you get 3.
Well, it actually means with the bookies, the Raiders are maybe getting some of their just desserts because they're the favourites, I think, for the first time this year.
Yep.
So from we're talking about our preseason and everyone's preseason sort of look at the Raiders. To be fair, none of us had them getting the spoon, did we? But we didn't think that they would be as good as what they were going to be. Yeah. Minor premiers, we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, and we'll have a home qualifying final in about a week's time as well to try and jump straight to a prelim, which will be also in Canberra if they were to make the prelims. So Raiders finally the shortest odds to win the comp this year. Manly beat the Warriors for the first of the Friday night games. This was an interesting one. DCE's last game as a Sea Eagle after 15 years, 352 games, and winning the grand final as a rookie. You ever seen this before? Well, no, you can't have because it was the fastest try ever. So Manly...
That man DCE let it in a bounce.
Yeah,
so.
butchered the kickoff. So, DCE lets it bounce. Someone spilled it, and then it's just...
Saab, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Saab, and it just ends up in the breadbasket of James Fisher-Harris for a try in 9 seconds.
Wild.
Crazy. check out that video if you haven't seen it just yet. Manly were able to hold on in this game, win by a point for a game where they were just playing for pride, really couldn't make it into the 8. Wise actually a couple of injury concerns there, 2 shoulders. So Rocco Berry dislocation, he'll be gone for next week. And then Eddie Irema Teva with the AC. I'm not sure how severe that is. Sometimes you can needle them up and get them through the game, but Rocco Berry won't be playing next week. DCE he faced the media afterwards, said I'm going to finish my career the way I want to finish it. It's going to make some people angry and disappointed and frustrated, but that's life. I won't be looking back, that's for sure. So kind of unapologetic in his decision. Obviously done a lot for that club. And we'll see him in blue, red and white next year.
That's the thinking. It's either that or he retires.
Well,
there's no pen to paper yet.
That's right. We are assuming
So
we're going to see him.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing confirmed as yet.
Allegedly.
Speaking of, that's a nice little segue into the Chooks who made light work of South. The NRL had posted about not storming the field if Alex Johnston was to equal their record or break the record. Not required because he didn't find the try line in this game.
Nope.
Mark did. Mark Nwanga hat-trick makes him the highest try scorer on the NRL season. Pretty impressive for a bloke coming over in his first year from rugby union. He finishes with 23 tries on the season. He had 7 games with a double or more and a hattie in this game.
Hammer finished with 19.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think Mark was a few clear.
Has that been updated? That seems updated?
I would say so.
I'd say so by now, yeah.
Either way, if you add the hattie, is one less. But
Yeah. So, Hammer was on 19 with Tupou and Coates.
Daniel Tupou getting around.
Yeah. Quietly going about his business. Fourth all time.
Tupou and Marky Mark.
I did see, the Eels are way down there, but Adam Carr was talking as well that he wants to try to push up to that number as well. He thinks he can play for another 4 to 5 years, and he's at one. I think he's the next on the list out of the active guys.
Players, yeah, I believe
and
so.
He's at 150-ish. So
we'll find that for you.
Yeah, if they can average 20 tries a season, it's definitely doable.
How old do you reckon Adam Carr is off the top of your head?
Early 30s.
Yeah, I reckon
33.
31. Here we go. Let's have a look here.
Should be around
so he's
156.
156, which is 14th all time at the moment, and he's 30.
30?
Yeah.
So if he plays another 4 to 5 years, and he still hasn't looked like he's lost that elite speed. Had the chip and chase today. We're talking about Eels now, but to run away, and they put the knife to the sword to give him the spoon.
Teddy's also on that high up on the list for the active players on 149.
He's a bit older though.
Yeah, and then it's a long way down to Val Holmes. So the only other bloke here within QE is the Fox. Chooks looking good at the right time. They've won 3 of their last 4, and I think in that
South helps right the ship, but their big concern is going to be halves health going in and playing against the top 8 squads. So
for sure. But they've beaten Dogs and Storm as well, so they've shown that they can beat some pretty reasonable teams. Brandon Smith played in this one, despite officially being charged by Queensland Police relating to a golf trip a little while ago with his Chooks teammates. And another sort of interesting decision for Cam Murray to come back to play his one and only game of the season post Achilles. I think they must have been pretty confident in his rehab. I would have thought the risk far outweighs the reward there, but he got through unscathed. So good to see Cam Murray back after tearing his Achilles in the preseason.
They probably needed the troops regardless. They maybe not have the numbers.
Mate, they've been so banged up, haven't they? We spoke about it, at the start of the year, and they actually started off really well, but then the attrition of the year just comes in, and when half your team's out with soft tissue injuries, it's pretty hard.
The list on paper looks half decent, and you got Wayne there as coach, but if he's got no troops, it's a bit hard to win football games.
Is that quick for an Achilles?
Very, So March, early March. I think maybe it was late February, so 6 months. I think when you think now of like the rehab and where they're getting at, and the fact that Aaron Rodgers was close to coming back in like 4.5 months, which is insane. That would have been,
high risk.
Just breaking all kinds of records and all kinds of risk as well. Coming back at that time. I think traditionally, like Achilles is probably looking at 9 months, and they're just coming shorter and shorter and shorter. I think the position that he plays also probably has something to do with it. Like if you're a winger or someone that's got to get up to top speed or jump, it's maybe a little bit different. Whereas the repeat efforts of tackling and playing in the middle is probably not as demanding. Less explosive on the Achilles, but it is quite quick. It's interesting to see as well, with basketball fans. And
that's what I was thinking as well. Like it's normally like a full season.
That's right. So all those guys that did their Achilles in the playoffs in the NBA, hopefully they can come back with 10 to 15 regular season games left and then be right for their team's playoffs, assuming they're all there. Dragons lose the Panthers 40-20. I was hoping for the Rezzies to be rolled out again for the Panthers as a Dragons fan. Unfortunately, we run into a pretty full strength Penrith, Les, Liam Martin and Brian To'o, double for Paul Alamotti, Nathan Cleary, good, water wet, and the Dragons sink down to 15th, which is pretty ordinary considering a month ago we were talking about, mathematically can we make the 8? That sort of slipped a few weeks ago with the loss of the Warriors and then end up being the third worst team in the league this year. Pretty disappointing year really for the Dragons, just lost way too many games by a try or less and, points difference is minus 130 there. It's on par with all those teams above them, but they just didn't have the premiership points.
That's it. It also just goes to show how tight that middle of the competition was as well. I
did see today, I think they said they're going to let Lachlan Lewis walk. So to talk, the veteran potential halfback that they might need to win those close games, they're not going to keep the young fella and let someone else have a go.
Who are you talking about?
Lachlan Lewis. Lachlan Ilias.
Ilias.
Yeah. I was like, sorry, Ilias.
I was like, isn't that the bloke that stole a speaker a few years ago? Lockie Ilias, who barely played this year after coming over from Souths. You feel for Ilias, but I think they've actually found a pretty reasonable half in King Tonga to probably pair Cole Flanagan next year moving forward. Disappointing year for the Dragons. Panthers, they'll go to New Zealand next week. I was also thinking, maybe they want to avoid having to fly overseas, but the way the Cronulla's looking, maybe it's a good idea to try and avoid playing them and winning that game. Titans avoid the spoon. They beat Tigers 36-28 yesterday, and the Sharks, as aforementioned, looked pretty good in their win over the Bulldogs, but they couldn't quite get into the top 4. And then
Bulldogs sliding. So I think that's the big thing there. Titans get their obligatory sack coach will get win. So, but the Bulldogs, look like they're definitely a sliding side.
Had that happened last pod? The Des Hasler?
Probably not. No, I don't think it had.
Yeah.
But the quickest head coaching switch you've probably seen in the NRL. Des out, Honey in. So well, hopefully that's good for the Titans. They avoid the spoon and see how they go.
Can you see how old Des Hasler is? I wonder if he retires or
64.
64.
He's got another 30 years in him.
I was going to say spring chicken compared to Wayne.
I'm not sure with the doggies. Did Nico Hines play for the Sharks in this game?
Yeah, I think he played.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't actually watch any of that yesterday. I was watching the Aussie rules, which we'll get to in just a second. I'll get a box score here for you. Yep, Hines played. 4 from 4 on his conversions. Tries to Billy Burns, Jesse Ramian, Blake Brayley, Daniel Atkinson. Sharks finish 5th. That'll be a good game next week against the Chooks. Today, a lot of points scored. The Raiders rolled out their Rezzies and definitely their New South Wales Cup team.
Played like it.
Yeah, didn't really show up. It was 30-0 or something at half
Yeah,
time,
well,
wasn't
the
it?
Finns had a lot to play for, and they had Mark
Was
Wilkins's
30-0.
last game. So, yeah, they just ran riot, really.
Yep, 62-24. So it's asterisk, right? So we always talk about conceding 50 and you can't win the comp.
Yeah, it's
you,
good. It's,
you get an asterisk if you roll out your Rezzies team
Yeah.
and they get humped by 62. Is that how it works?
I don't know. The stat is if you get pumped by 50, no one has ever won the comp. So
That's the stat.
I assume that
That's ominous,
this
Raiders
scenario.
fans.
So I'm thinking like this scenario obviously has had to have happened at least once before. Maybe I don't know. But
the
this would
rest
be
of
the
it-
caveat. It'll be if the Raiders end up winning, it'll be you can't get
First
pumped
time
by
ever.
50, but it'll be unless your Rezzies are playing. So
I reckon it's a
it'll be
bit
good
more
test.
of a recent phenomenon of resting your entire team.
Yeah, well,
You know what I mean?
longer seasons and
Yeah.
more defining of your finals positions leads to resting. So, yeah,
What about the Finns? They had the most points for out of any team in the comp. Missed the 8.
missed 8. Yep. Well, we can't defend. I still think they had a pretty decent. What was their for and against? That was quite interesting.
Plus 100 and something.
Yeah. Which is, like you just said, comparable, plus. So, it's comparable to some of the other teams around them, but it's not.
Plus 125. So, yeah, for the record, Roosters above them, plus 132. Panthers, plus 107. Warriors, plus 21. So,
Held on to their spot.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. They're a team that likes to get ahead. So once they get a lead, they just get a bit frisky and like to pump out big scores. But they seem to struggle in maybe those grittier games. So, but again, they're kind of a young squad, got a young halves pairings.
Yeah, Katoa's only going to get better and better.
Exactly.
He's already very good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hammer did a little MCL for what it's worth.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I think NRL Physio, they expect MCL. He's going to go for scans, which is unfortunate. Got a Hattie in that one, but yeah, it's
Hopefully it's just a minor strain and
Yeah,
he
exactly.
didn't tear it. And then, another big scoring game. The Knights had all to play for. It was a simple equation for them. If they won, they avoided the spoon. They didn't go anywhere close to winning. They got humped 66-10 by Parramatta, who turns out a pretty good when Mitch Moses plays.
Yeah, well, he had a 90-metre score from dummy half, just ran right past through him.
Yeah.
Had a car, had a chip and chase.
Hattie for Adokar.
Knights are already in Bali, basically. So, and don't get a win after sacking Adam O'Brien. Well, they sacked him but didn't sack him. He was still coaching this game, so
But he won't
be back.
be renewed.
Yes, he won't be back. Some of those words with like I've taken this playing group as far as they can go kind of thing. So either he was thinking of big turnover or just some bullshit coach speak per se. But I think the only team looking for a head coach, so they'll have to see who's available.
Their attack was dreadful this year, wasn't it?
yeah.
We spoke about it week in, week out. I think there was 11 games, so half of their games just about, where they didn't score a try in the first half.
Yeah.
I've got the...
Well, we had that stat. They scored 338 points in total, so
Yep.
they're 100 points behind the next closest.
South.
Yeah, and they scored
Nearly 100.
Yeah, nearly 100, and they scored half the amount of points the Finns did, as we mentioned before. So
It's dreadful in attack.
yes,
Finished with a points difference of minus 300, which is 101 worse than the Titans, who finished 16th.
deserving winners
That's
of
absolutely
some
crazy.
silverware in the spoon.
Is it silverware? What would you call it? It's
It's a wooden spoon.
it's
isn't
wooden.
it? So
yeah,
wooden.
Brownware.
Brown.
Would go well in Reece Walsh's toilet. All right, it was freshly installed. We forgot to say that.
Yes. It was
Yes.
clean. It was he's
Allegedly.
doing some renos. Allegedly.
All right, let's talk about some footy finals. We've got the matchups. So next week,
Confirmed as of
Yep.
about an hour ago. So
Yep.
the games.
so Storm finished second. They will play the Bulldogs at home down there in Melbourne. No Jerome Hughes, no Ryan Pappenhausen for next week only. Marcus, if you wouldn't mind chasing some odds for us.
Two teams kind of on the
Bit of a
decent
slump,
slide. Yeah. News about doggies. I forgot to mention Steve Crichton might be signing a massive deal to stay with them for the foreseeable future.
Pain.
But yeah, I just wonder if the Storm will just be clinical Storm and just steal a win here.
Next man up mentality. Jonah Pezzett goes out there and I'll play Munster wherever and still win.
Yeah, the Bulldogs just since mid-season have, they finished third, but they just kind of seem up and down all over the shop. So
And
I just can't be consistent.
Notoriously poor against their top 8 teams as well, the Doggies. So, yeah, agreed. I think Melbourne will start as amongst the odds there. $1.50 to $2.55 for the Dogs at home, bellyache. Yeah, it's always hard to go past the Storm, but they're going to have to do it without two of their four
Hughes,
spine.
No Babby, but Harry Grant and Cam Munster still there. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. Into Saturday, the Panthers will head across the Dutch to play the Wars there. Mount Smart will be absolutely heaving, but I imagine the Panthers will still start as favourites. $1.40. That is short.
Yeah, the Warriors another team on a
$2.96.
big descend, been banged up, so it's going to be tough for them.
Still wouldn't want to face them over there. Like, I was saying.
Yeah, that's the benefit for them.
You have to fly over there and, Mount Smart will be heaving, but you're exactly right. The Warriors started 2025 a lot better than what they finished 2025.
Correct. And the Panthers are sort of inverse of that, but they haven't quite hit their total straps like they did last year.
Their home games haven't really helped them towards the back end of the season.
The Wars?
Yeah.
Got their most recent games there. So they fell short against Manly by a point. They've recently lost to Para. They beat the Titans. Good on them.
Yeah.
They only just got past the Dragons. That was the end of our season. Thanks for that. Lost the Dogs and lost the Finns. Yeah, a lot of L's recently for the Wars. So Penrith will be fancying themselves, and the bookies definitely think they'll get the job done.
They need to get some Wars momentum back, but otherwise I think they're just making up numbers at the moment.
Will it be every league fan that's not a Panthers fan going for the Warriors in this game?
Yeah, of course.
But history, who knows? Can they do it from 7th? 5 Pete? Wouldn't put it past them, would you? This is probably the most enticing game, potentially, based on form. Sharks have been pretty good. Roosters have finished the season red hot. They'll travel to Shark Park. Actually, can you confirm ground there? I don't think that will be at Shark Park. I think they will play that at Allianz, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I took that from. What did I send him the thingy?
Have you actually got grounds confirmed?
Whether it was in that tweet that I put out, because that was from NRL. It does say grounds. Shark Stadium. That's big for them. So NRL not cutting the greedy option to get more bums on seats. So that Shark Park will be absolutely pumping. Only holds about 17,000 or something, I think. This looks like a classic Sharks joke. So finals joke, and then for the Roosters to win. Can you check?
It's a bad team to run into, isn't it? Like they've finished 8th on the ladder, but I don't think they're the 8th best team.
No, they still have a good talent. My question for you, Jimmy, was to check Sam Walker's health. Not Welsh. Got it right that time.
Different code.
Yes. Because his concussion, if it was 11 days, he should be all right, unless they've... because that'll be a massive in for them.
Yeah, I think he's okay. To answer your question,
I'm on judiciary. That's not going to help me.
So I'm going to go back the Roosters in that one over the Sharkies at home.
What are the odds there? This will be close.
Does that all mean all the away teams are favourites?
$1.65 for the Chooks, $2.24 for the Sharks. Yeah, so Storm and Raiders will be favourites, but then the away Panthers and away Roosters will start as faves. Leads us into Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, Storm, Roosters, Panthers, shock.
That's the NRL of the last 15 years.
Yes. As well, it's good to see the Raiders get 9 premiers. It's something different.
Yeah, they'll take on the Broncos here at Canberra Stadium, and if they
Sunday,
win,
4 o'clock.
but the prelim will also be in Canberra. NRL has confirmed, as per 2019. I think they beat South in the prelim down here. So, Monks, if you wouldn't mind getting us some odds there, the Raiders boys should be well rested after. Well, the first graders should be at least.
Yeah.
$1.62 for the Milk, $2.30 for the Broncos Sunday afternoon.
I think the Raiders will be too good for them, but I'm also concerned the Broncos are starting to get healthy. They'll get likely is they'll have the 3 hammies all back. Whether Cobbo gets picked in the team or not, I'm not sure, but and Reynolds should be good to go.
Cobbo's hammy was the worst, I believe, of them as well.
But they've all been training, so it looks like they're going to be healthy, and that's a good time of the year to be able to do that is start riding ship and be strong. And like we're talking about, you just don't want to get Walshed, gob, and he did that during the week.
Yeah, if Geo Stadium has that surge leak, he's going to be on like
He's
superpowers.
going to be juiced to the gills and go out.
Yeah, for people that haven't followed it, apparently people have been complaining of a stench at GIO Stadium, which allegedly has to do with some sewage not running really well. So, don't drink out of the toilets there, boys.
Radioactive shit.
Let me get some odds for the futures here. So, as Athan mentioned, the Raiders finally the premiership favourites at $3.80. Storm $4.10. Broncos actually third at $6.50. Penrith from seventh, $7. Doggies slid out to $9.50. Roosters $10.50. And then the bookies don't think the Sharks or Warriors can do it. 34 for the Sharks, 71 for the Wars, even with a home elimination final.
Yeah. What a big slug.
That'll do us for the NRL, I guess. Bring on some finals footy.
Yep.
We're T-5 days away from finals footy, finally.
Yeah.
Hit that button, mate.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. We have had finals this weekend in the AFL, a few really good ones. Adelaide sort of just off the mark in the first qualifying final in their own house. Collingwood had been the best team for most of the year other than the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think it answered the question we had last week about, do we think they're the favourite to win the comp? And we said this exact thing. It's like, you want to win the comp, you got to go through Collingwood or Geelong or Brisbane essentially to get there. You got to beat those teams if you want to do it. And, that premiership ilk or experience pays off. And, I think the Crom learnt that lesson the hard way. Yeah,
exactly right. The big moment, other than Taylor Walker, none of them would have played finals footy before. The last time they were in the finals as a club was that 2017 final where they got hammered by Richmond. And then, disaster for the Adelaide Crows after that, with all the poor culture things and mass exodus of players and, them going into the real bottom, the dregs of the AFL for a few years. And that's not to take anything away from the playing group of 2025, who have been excellent. But we definitely had our reservations, I think, after the last couple of weeks where they sort of just cruised home against the Eagles and Roos and maybe hadn't run into a red-hot team, maybe since they played Collingwood about a month ago.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, they get another chance, don't they? So
yeah, exactly right. At home too.
And at home, so... they know they're in the finals now. The finals is a different beast. It's not the season. And, they're going to have to lift if they want to. Again, you got to probably walk through one of those three teams we just mentioned to get there. So.
Yeah, and tactical loss potentially as well with Isaac Rankin. Now, if they were to string a few together, he'll be eligible to play the grand final. Whereas had they had the week off, he wouldn't have been. So, that'll be a storyline if they manage to make it to the GF from here. Obviously, all the hoopla a couple of weeks ago after the homophobic slur and the 5 games coming down to 4 games left this scenario open. So we'll see. They'll have to get through Hawthorn next week. Jamie Elliott, very good in this game as he has been all year. I thought he was very stiff to miss out on the All-Australian team, which we'll talk about in just a bit. He had 4 goals in the night. And Jordan De Goey, looking like his old self, 26 disposals, a goal, 7 tackles. He did have a bump on Josh Worrell, which I didn't think looked like there was much in it, but there was sort of speculation he might cop a week and would miss a prelim over it. Deemed careless, low impact, just got away with a fine there. So big for him and big for Pies fans. Geelong looked very, very good and probably the team to beat, I think, after this weekend.
Geelong looked like Geelong.
Yeah, that's right. 112-74 winners over the Brisbane Lions. So a little bit of revenge for them after last year's prelim. The result obviously going the other way around. And speaking of prelims, I think that's 15 out of 19 for Geelong. And so in the past 2 decades, just... perennially successful. I'm sure Cats fans will be fired up for another prelim. I reckon a lot of the rest of the AFL are a bit sick of seeing the Cats up there.
Yep.
But they're definitely set the benchmark when it comes to finals footy. Charlie Cameron kicked the first goal for the Lions, and then he touched the ball once after that. So he had 2 disposals. The bottom 5 of the Lions just didn't get much of it at all. I think they had less than 25 disposals between them. Charlie Cameron, Sam Marshall, Logan Morris, Sam Day, Ty Gallup, which was interesting because the top end did really, really well. The top 5 ball winners in this game were all Lions.
Yep.
So Zorko, Neil, Ashcroft, Will Ashcroft, Dunkley, Bailey, all had more ball than any of the Cats players. So it's interesting. You know, you can have the best top end, but there's 22 guys that need to get involved. So that was probably the difference. Geelong, a bit of team effort. Jez Cameron, the Coleman medalist, looked pretty good. He really could have punished him. I think he took 5 marks inside 50 in the first quarter. He looked like he was on track to kick about 10. He only managed 2 goals, 3 out of that. And then
Geelong finished 16-16, so they had plenty of opportunities. Yeah,
how many did Jezza finish with? Just the 3? Just the 2. So it was the 2 that he kicked in that first quarter, and then sort of didn't need to because they were sharing the sausage rolls around. And one of the stranger things that I've ever seen in footy, let alone in a big moment just before halftime in finals footy, Cam Rayner gets what I would say is probably a nudge in the back from Mark O'Connor. This is 150 metres off the ball.
Maybe he's off balance a little bit, but he goes down. So
it looks soft-ish, I think, particularly the first one.
It's not Brazilian football team, but
no, it wasn't Neymar. It wasn't Rivaldo getting a ball in the knee and then dropping to clutch his face.
Yeah.
I'll definitely take Cam's side there versus Brazilian footballers.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were saying there wasn't much in it, and a lot of people,
a lot in it.
So. A lot of also people were just saying, well, it's not Cam Rayner's. You know, the umpires can make decisions here.
Yeah, true. Cam Rayner's just there, and the dude's whacked him in the back.
Yeah, that's right. So you could just argue, well, don't make contact 150 metres off the ball when your team's lining up to kick a goal.
Yeah,
because it was like an 18-point swing.
Yes,
in that one.
Yeah, the Lions were kind of struggling, and they probably went into halftime like, oh, we might actually have a chance in this.
Yeah. So luckily it didn't change the outcome of the game.
Just too good.
But there was a lot of people that thought it was a bit on the nose. Anyways, Geelong way too good. As Afa mentioned, they kicked 8 goals to 4 in the second half. And then not just the loss and having to play for their season next week, some massive outs. Lachie Neale was clutching at his calf and didn't finish the game. All hopes were for just a minor strain, maybe, miss next week but be back. Scans back today, calf torn, season done.
I think I confirmed from Jimmy with Hipwood as well.
Yeah,
I think
partial ACL. I think he's done as well.
I think he's been playing with like a small tear for quite a while, and they reckon I must, half the season. So
yeah, he's had surgery. I'm pretty sure he's done.
So he's done, and you got guys like Jared Berry, dislocated shoulder, and he's playing with it strapped up and limping through.
He actually looked pretty good.
Yeah. So I think they've got a few guys banged up, and they feel like they're limping. It seems like they're on their last legs. Like they don't really have much momentum, and I guess they're going to need some of those young fellas now to step up in replacements. Whether someone like Jared, like Mick Luggage can lift in the absence of those guys and push them. So
Hipwood not being available. What about their key forward who's played unreal all year? Who's just had a quiet game. Logan Morris it was their top goal scorer this year. With Hipwood out, he's going to need to be the main target as they go forward. So good chance for him to shine next week. Their midfield, I think, obviously you don't want to lose a dual Brownlow medalist.
Yes.
But if there's a team that can absorb it, because their midfield is so deep and so talented, maybe the Brisbane Lions. But it's a shame for Lachie Neale.
Just see what other Ashcross are hiding behind the sheds and get one of them to play. So,
is there a third Ashcroft?
I think it might be actually.
Elimination finals time was yesterday. Back-to-back elimination finals. NG Stadium getting one after the MCG and Adelaide Oval host the first 2. And this was a really good game. The Hawks had never won at NG Stadium leading into this. They were 0-8, and that includes some of the Hawks dynasty. Yes, Hawks dynasty time had never won there. They were completely dominant in the first half, and the lead even got out to 42 points early in the third. And then the Orange Tsunami, it had just been a little bit of an orange drizzle. The Tsunami actually picked itself up. They kicked 6 in a row. They dominated the clearances in the third quarter. Josh Kelly was a bit of a super sub. I think he had 12 disposals and 2 goals in the third quarter alone. But it was a case of too little, too late for the G-men. The Orange team, they would have had their end-of-season celebrations through to today, commiserations, because Hawthorn ended up holding on by 19 points. So the March favourites, talking about
everyone's picked to win the comp.
Everyone's picked to win the comp. Doesn't get out of week 1 of the finals, unfortunately. Kind of like the NRL running into a team that's very dangerous despite finishing 8th. Hawthorn looked pretty good.
Just that finals experience in a way.
Yeah, well, younger team. They've got a few of the older heads there that, would have remembered finals footy and yeah, I think Hawthorn will give it a good nudge next week. And then the game of the round was last night. Not just the actual game itself, but the history in it. Gold Coast Suns, their first final ever. So it's taken 15 seasons for one of the AFL's Nepo babies to finally taste some finals footy. And David Swallow was the number 1 pick, I think, in the 2011 draft. And unlike many of the other classmates from that draft who got poached by Richmond or took their talents elsewhere, had stuck
Richmond.
to Richmond, had stuck by his team and was influential in this one. Leading into it, one of those sort of, I knew that would come back to bite him type memes. The West Australian literally printed the best things in life are easy home final wins on the back page of their paper this week. And I think a few receipts. I wonder if that was up in the change rooms for the Suns in the away sheds there at Optus. It's also maybe a testament to how good Damien Hardwick is at coaching. The fact that in his second season he takes a team that I don't think had ever finished above 12th. In 2 years takes them to a final. And the all gas, no brakes motto of the Suns led to the most entertaining game of the round. It went down to the wire. Mac Andrew with the mark and the kick between the big sticks with about 90 seconds left to even it up. And then one of the crazier finishes you'll see, and couldn't have gone to anyone else but David Swallow. I think he was tackled without the ball. I think that's a fair enough call.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think some Freo fans maybe thought it was a little bit rough at that stage of the game, but definitely didn't need to follow through with the tackle.
Yeah, like it's a strong tackle and he doesn't have the ball. So I think it's pretty...
Take your purple glasses off is what you're saying there.
Yeah.
And then he kicks what is called a goal initially, then gets reviewed, but it's flicked the man on the mark's fingers, so it's just a point. The point already gets them in the clear, and it's almost a better result for Gold Coast, meaning that they can set up defensively and you've got to go the length of the field rather than try and win a clearance and kick one out and get a mark in 9 seconds. Would have been highly unlikely anyway, but it's just about impossible.
Yeah, it cuts the field in half. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, poetic to say the least with David Swallow, the foundation club man and the bloke who had played the most games ever without playing a final. Leading into this, gets a win. He's 1-1 in his finals, and also kind of funny that from a memes perspective, and amongst that that Gold Coast join the AFL, have 14 losing seasons, and win a final all in the space between Essendon last winning their final. To Essendon's credit, they've been in 4 at least.
I was going to say, does that mean Essendon's due one now?
Maybe next year.
Maybe
next year couldn't go worse than this year. Went with the injuries at Windy Hill this year, that's for sure. So the Suns go away with 1 point victors, which means there will be a Q clash next week. It will be the second semi-final. The first semi will be between Adelaide and Hawthorn. I got $1.77, $2.10. That's still about right.
Yep.
And $1.48 for the Lions at home with a bit of value there. The Gold Coast Suns $2.67.
Yeah, because I was going to say they played not that long ago and the Suns pumped them and with an understrength team. I think guys like Touk Miller didn't play in that game, so they've got the full side in there and will fancy themselves against the Lions in, I guess, almost home for them. It's
That's
not
in
too
Queensland.
It's in Queensland. It's not. They don't have to travel to Victoria, so I think they'll be happy with that.
Was that pumping at the Gabba? See if you can find it.
Yeah, 130 to.
No,
60.
it was at their Fortress.
Forest,
Yeah. So 130 to 64 was about a month ago. Interesting stuff. Collingwood and Geelong get the week off, and then we'll have. Well, actually, the prelims will be over. I think the next time we podcast in 2 weeks, we'll know who's going to be in the granny.
Yes.
Very good. Let's talk about the All-Australian team. I'll just run quickly through the list and have some honourable mentions at the end. Starting from the back line, Josh Battle, Hawthorn, Sam Taylor, GWS, Jordan Clark, Fremantle. Across half-back, Bailey Dale, Western Bulldogs, Harris Andrews, Brisbane, Nasiah Wanganeen, Miller, St Kilda. Across the centre, Bailey Smith, Geelong, Jordan Dawson, Adelaide. Hugh McLuggage finally gets into the 22 after being in the squad many times, Brisbane Lions. Half forward, Isaac Heaney, Jeremy Cameron, captain, despite him admitting he'd never captained anything ever, which is kind of funny. And Zach Bailey gets in across half forward.
Is that just because he's the oldest bloke in the team?
Yeah, I don't know, because he doesn't...
Max Gordon would be older.
Yes. Yep. And so I think Gunston is probably older as well. I've got no idea why he's a captain because Jordan Dawson is a captain of Adelaide. Is Harris Andrews a co-captain at Brisbane? He's definitely in leadership group. Max Gawn at Melbourne. There's plenty of guys that are captains at their team.
Wasn't Max
Bontempelli?
Was he captain last year or the year before?
I don't know who decides on Jeremy Cameron being captain of a team that never takes a field anyway. So, congrats to you, Jezza, Coleman medalist and captain. No, that was a surprise to him. And then across full forward, Jack Gunston, Riley Thilthorpe, Cozzy Pickett, all get in, and then on the ball, Max Gawn, the ruckman in his 8th All-Australian selection, Noah Anderson, Gold Coast Suns, Ed Richards, Western Bulldogs. This bench is pretty handy. Nick Dacos, Collingwood, Marcus Bontempelli, Western Bulldogs, Caleb Sarong, Fremantle, Matt Rao, Gold Coast Suns. I thought Jamie Elliott was incredibly stiff to not make this team. He kicked the 6th most goals in the AFL this year. That was the most by a small forward, so the top 5 were all key guys. He kicked 52. He looked like an All-Australian calibre type player, I thought, on Thursday night. He misses. I probably would have had him ahead of Zach Bailey and Cozzy Pickett. Zach Bailey kicked 33 goals. Cozzy kicked 40. And Jamie Elliott 12 more than Cozzy with 52. So don't know how he missed, but anyways. And then maybe a couple of unluckies, but I can sort of see it. Ben King was second in the Coleman, kicked 69 goals for the Suns. And Brodie Grundy, who was just about the best player in the comp for halfway through the season. I can see why he misses because you could argue that they've got Max Gawn there.
Well, that's always the problem. You always play second fiddle to Max Gawn.
Yeah, and then do you play a second ruckman, off the interchange, or if you're thinking of this like an actual team, Riley Thilthorpe plays a lot in the ruck as the second ruckman at Adelaide. So I can see potentially why Grundy and King don't make it. I don't see a world in which Jamie Elliott was not All-Australian calibre this year. Get us in the comments if you think anyone else was stiff. Or if you agree, Jamie Elliott should have been in there. That's the All-Australians for this year. A lot of first-timers in there, so congrats not only to all the 22, but to all the guys in there for the first time. Names in history, etc.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to in the AFL? Can anyone get through Collingwood and Geelong? Or?
Well, that was going to be my question. Who's your picks at this stage for Granny?
Well, the odds reflected. We'll get actually amongst. Can you get some futures? I think Geelong have to be the clear favourites. We were looking at an interesting graphic in the group text this week. Really hard to win from 4th in the last 25 years. No team's actually done it from 4th. There's 2 teams that have done it from 5 through 8, but no one's done it through from 4th. That could just be some numerology stuff, or there might be some actual reasoning behind that. And then it was nearly even between 1st, 2nd and 3rd for winning flags. Bookies have got Geelong at $2.75, so pretty short. Pies at $3.50, and then 8s for Brisbane, 11s for Adelaide, 12s for Hawthorn, 18 for the Suns.
I hate to say it, but it's probably looking like a Geelong Pies final, you'd think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I really kind of hope not. It would be interesting to see.
One of those bottom three potentially for someone new or someone that hasn't won for quite a while.
Yeah, I think a lot of the neutrals. We haven't seen Adelaide win the comp since the late 90s. Gold Coast obviously have never won one. Brisbane, obviously the defending champs, and Hawthorn not that far removed from a dynasty of their own. Yeah, so whilst they do have a young, exciting team, I reckon a lot of people will do the Homer Simpson meme coming out with their Gold Coast Suns Guernsey on next week. But
that's when they get through the lines.
Yeah, that happened well. Yeah. I think they're 18. I think they're 18-1 for a reason.
Yes, I agree.
But yeah, next time we pod, we'll probably be previewing grand final.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk some National Football League.
Oh, he broke his ankles.
Cowboys Eagles kicked us off Thursday night over there, Friday morning our time. What did we make of this game?
Cowboys looked better.
Eagles, than what people had anticipated projected.
A healthy Cowboys team is not too bad. The Eagles probably losing their best player on defense played a little bit into how they played.
How did they lose him, Sean? It
was a wild start to the game. The Eagles lose their fullback on special teams with it was an ACL. I think it was a bad knee injury regardless. And while they're waiting, there was spitgate essentially between Jalen Carter and Dak, and Carter definitely spat on Dak, so he was ejected. The Eagles line kind of struggled a little bit post that. Couldn't really get too much pressure on Dak. So that, I guess, made the game a little bit more competitive. And the Eagles just had to do enough to win. Give Saquon the ball and don't turn it over with Hurts, and they got the job done.
That fullback is out for the season, so thoughts with him, that sounds like an ACL to me. Interesting, the footage there, because Dak definitely spits first, but to my eyes, I thought he was kind of just spitting down. But then he definitely makes some sort of eye contact, you want something to...
There's also
to
an angle, like they're in the huddle, he's on the backside of that. He walks to the front towards Carter and is almost standing between the two offensive players.
Yeah, but he's still standing behind him.
He's behind them, but he's really close to them. He's within a foot, where he kind of ends up. So it just they can't really show the spit from that angle, but he doesn't hit Carter. He hits the ground, but he's spitting in his direction. I think's the point. And then Carter, they've had words, etc. And Dak's come out and Carter's retaliated, and it's then
second man always gets caught.
It started I don't want to. Hopefully, it's not a spitting plague like the dildos were in WNBA, but a Gators dude did it today.
At least the crowd's not involved.
Yeah, a Florida Gators dude did it today and got ejected as well. So it's a bit of a dog act, honestly.
Yeah, don't spit on others. Surprised we have to say that.
Yeah, spitting in general, just.
If you're dipping, maybe, but on a football football game, and into a dipping cup usually. So, but in the context of a football game like that, it's not necessary. But did Dak instigate it? I don't know. They won't do anything this because of course the main slate of games happens tomorrow. But in the coming days, there's talks about this whole respect the opponent agenda the NFL is pushing. You saw a bunch of flags in relation to flexing and standing over players over the first two games already. That there's already been talk about like a 3-game suspension for Carter. So the question is, if Dak has, say, instigated this, does Dak also fit into that, and does he get like a lighter sentence or something?
I would say no.
Yeah, but it'd be, America's team is going to be very hard to get rid of the Cowboys quarterback, but it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out.
So under anonymity, a league official came out sometime today saying that he won't be suspended.
Carter or Dak?
Carter. Yeah, okay. But it says that the NFL is still examining the situation, so who knows?
See what they come out and say. I'd be a very brave NFL official to, like you said, to suspend the quarterback of America's team for something that to me looked relatively innocuous.
And he looks pretty good. Looks healthy. So
they were functional on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
They were a couple of CD drops away from winning that game.
Yep.
And CD very good in that game. Had 110 yards on 7 catches, but some crucial drops and they were clutch drops as well.
But there were of the 4 drops, I would say 2 were drops and then 2 were really difficult catches.
That one where he's laid out on 4th down and the safety's coming across.
The ball hits his hand.
That's barely a drop.
That's 50-50 at best.
But when Dak hits you on the numbers, on the seam, and you could potentially grab that and run and score, that's a big time drop.
Yes, exactly. So there's a bit there and there. So, but yeah, they look more functional. But I think the main thing is that team rides on Dak, so they have to see how Dak plays. Kenny Clark was actually pretty good for them in the middle, helping defend the run against Saquon.
Yep, the man they got in exchange for Micah Parsons. We'll get to that deal in just a second. Javonte Williams found the end zone twice on 54 yards, so interesting from a fantasy perspective.
Currently RB1 overall. We'll see how long
I don't think that'll last too long. But then also fantasy worth mentioning, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, very quiet. They had 24 yards between the two of them.
Yeah, well, the lack of passing that Hurts did last year has extended so far. So they're a run-heavy team with, 32 between the two of them for carries. So, I think it's going to be... And what's interesting there was Dodson is kind of their lead wide receiver because it's run the ball, take deep shots. Yeah. So, and Dodson's one of the fastest guys on their team. So, it's an interesting dynamic go forward that'll have to be watched. Yeah,
32 carries between Hurts and Barkley. Throw in another 6 from Will Shipley and AJ Dillon. So that's 38 times they ran the ball versus 23 passing attempts. Jalen did complete 19 of those 23, so very efficient.
Yeah, hitting Dale's got it on some short stuff.
Yep. Landon Dickerson had a back injury. Watched that one. Important for their offensive line. Obviously a very good offensive line.
Yeah.
The first international game of this season was Saturday morning our time, so Friday night in the Corinthians Stadium in Sao Paulo. And the Chargers knock off the Chiefs in what was a pretty entertaining game, 27-21. Xavier Worthy looked like a dislocated shoulder, Monks. Can you see where he's at? He was going for scans last I'd heard. Cops some friendly fire.
Yep. Have you seen the memes about Taylor was saying that on the podcast with Kelsey that she really likes Worthy and thinks he's going to break out this year? And that's when he knew he had to take him out.
Friendly fire.
So, really unfortunate, but at least some really big question marks for that team because especially Royals was the other young rookie they've brought in who was inactive, I think dealing with soft tissue, I think lower leg. But and then, of course, Rice's suspension for 6 weeks. That it's the old fellas. It was Juju and Hollywood have to kind of step up. And
15 catches between the two of them.
Yeah, I think 19 targets for Hollywood or something.
Crazy,
yeah, it was big numbers. But, we'll see if that turns into a big role long term. But, they didn't really run the ball that much and relied on Holmes to throw heaps.
Yep, nearly the opposite of the team that beat him in the Super Bowl last year. Yeah, threw the ball 39 times and runs to running back 10.
Yep.
10 times that Pacheco and Hunt got handed off.
They were behind for most of this game. So
that plays into it for sure. So we'll have to wait and see. Is there a scan there for...
It was massive for the AFC West, though. The Chiefs getting a loss on their record.
Yep. No, watch this space, I think, is the answer for Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, boys. We've got to talk about the Chargers. We just talked about the Chiefs.
Yeah, very good.
Justin Herbert was close to perfect, 25 of 34, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 of which were to Quinton Johnson.
And they look like a passing team. They're not the typical hardball type team. They threw the ball 34 times and looked pretty good. And they've, I guess, focused on their big 3, which is Allen, McConkey, and Johnston. And, even though Allen left for a year, he kind of fits straight back into that team. I think he had 12 targets, something like that.
7 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown.
So I think in our preview, I said I think he's going to impact Lad McConkey's work more than he would the others, and it seems to be the case.
Yeah,
because Johnson, I think, had 7 targets, but a lot of his stuff was more the deeper type passes, whereas the underneath is all Lad and Allen. So it's an interesting team there, and
we got some answers from a fantasy perspective as well around who is RB1.
Yeah, it was Hampton.
So definitely Hampton. I think leading into this, there was some talk maybe of a 60-40 or a 75-25 type split.
Yeah,
looks like Najee Harris is a backup.
I'll say Harris is probably in the doghouse to start the year because of the whole fireworks thing, and how bad was the eye injury, etc. I kind of feel like it will maybe
Might head back towards that 60-40.
check in a month and see how much work he's getting rolled into there, because I don't think they want to give their rookie 300 plus carries straight away. I think they want to, take at least 100 off him, sort of thing.
Let Ashton Genty do that in division.
yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk about the early window. It is 6 hours away from the first slate of games. We've got the Giants taking on the Commanders. This is going to be the first start for Russell Wilson as a Giant. It's also his 200th career start. The Commanders pretty short favourites in this one. What do we think of the Commanders this year, Shauna? You reckon they're elite tier in the NFC or just in that tier 2?
They're in a tough division. They're an old team with a lot of young quarterbacks standing up, I think is the main thing. Question marks at running back now. They should get through the Giants in this one, but yeah, it'll be be trying to make it back to the playoffs and try. I think repeat what they did last year.
Yep.
The goal of they want to win the Super Bowl, of course, and go deeper. But
if they made the NFC Championship,
yeah,
they've probably done well.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think the expectation is like we have to win.
No,
I think it is like let's try to repeat what we did last year and then improve on it. So.
Their running back room is going to be interesting as well. Traded away Brian Robinson.
Yeah, a lot of
Austin
rumors,
Eckler, Krosky,
Merritt,
Rodriguez. It could just be a three-way split.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting to watch. Expect that they probably will lead in this game and probably run the ball a fair bit. So it'll be a good test.
Bengals go to Huntington Bank Field in Cleveland to take on the Browns. I quite like the Bengals. Last time I checked, were $1.45 to the Browns, $2.87-ish. Big story, Quinshon Judkins getting the pen to the paper.
Won't play because they're still waiting on the league decision.
Yep. So for those who haven't followed this story, they're second rounder, I think, but the
early say.
Invested a fair bit of draft stock in the ex-Ohio State running back, but he's also facing some DV charges. So there was a lot of conjecture as to would he even be on the team. So he's signed, but probably not going to be playing tomorrow.
No. Then we'll figure out how long that suspension is.
Bengals got to improve their record under Zach Taylor in starting the season. They're notoriously slow starters, and last year just killed them. They lost week 1 to the Patriots, and that was the difference between them playing playoff football in a year where Joe Burrow was, had sort of arguable MVP type numbers.
Yeah, I think big difference from last year was Burrow coming back from the wrist injury, if my memory serves me correct. This year he's ill health and should hopefully start a bit hotter than they did.
I believe he did a scapholunate ligament for any of the physio nerds, sports medicine nerds out there.
Yeah, I think Higgins missed the start of that year, and of course they tried running Zach Moss as the RB1 for the start of that season too. So I think they'll probably put 40 points up on this. It's just whether their defense will give up the same to the Browns is the question. We'll see how Flacco plays.
They also got to sack Myles Garrett. Yeah. Myles Garrett plays well against...
so he doesn't get sacked.
against Joe Burrow. Has sacked him 10 times in the last 8 games and hit him 20 times in those 8 games too.
Jeez.
Be interesting to see Joe Flacco and how long will Joe Flacco be the starter at Cleveland. Probably going to be the story there. Marcus, your Bucks play at the 3 a.m. window. You're going to be up for that?
I normally do wake up at 3 a.m.
You got a young child?
So yeah, if I'm not like sleep crazy or whatever, I might turn it on.
Hopefully she saves her wake for that time and doesn't wake at 2 o'clock.
Hopefully she does, yeah.
This is pretty even money, $1.80 versus $2-ish. The Bucks is actually without a fair few players. Tristan Wirfs, I think, got injured in practice, and then no Chris Godwin or Jalen McMillan coming back from existing injuries. So that really opens the door for Emeka Buka to, make a stamp on his debut. We've obviously seen the production for him in college. He will be the number 2 to Mike Evans, but a good opportunity for him. And we see the Michael Penix era start officially for the Falcons.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good competitive game.
Coin toss?
I would say so. Penix needs to prove.
Yeah.
He's only had 3 games. He's got all the talent around him. That defense needs to play better. I think is the main thing, and it's a good early test. Honestly, they're
in division,
and kind of close teams that these teams could potentially win this division.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say there's 1 and 2 right here.
Yeah.
You'd think.
Yep.
Yeah,
they both should be better than the Panthers, you'd think, and definitely should be better than the Saints. So, important then for the sort of the way that this will shape out in the year. This is nearly like a playoff type game in Week 1, which is fun.
Yeah, well, like you said, for the Bengals last season, it was 1 game in it. And it was
don't lose that game at home to the Patriots. They play playoffs.
Yeah, this could be it for the
Every
Bucks or
game
Falcons.
It sure does in the NFL.
Yeah.
Don't get the Raiders reserves running out against the Dolphins. Although you do get rested players. Speaking of Dolphins, these guys are even money going to Lucas Oil Stadium to take on the Colts. Tyreek Hill, Devon Achane should be playing after nursing some injuries through the preseason.
I did see they brought Jeff Wilson up from the practice squad, so they get some coverage of running back, which kind of leads to, are they going to...
Ollie Gordon not playing a whole lot, maybe.
Oh, no, well... A-Chain with nursing his
managed.
Whether they load manage him a bit and they get Ollie Gordon's going to play a bit and they just need a bit of extra help in case. Slight concerns there. Maybe not so worried. CMC worried, but
we'll get to that.
there's still some concerns.
Daniel Jones era will start for Indy and Tyler Warren, potentially generational type tight end.
We'll
see what he's got. I quite like the Dolphins in terms of value there going to the Colts.
The Dolphins are always a much better team with Tua playing quarterback. So
have you seen Trump talking about Tua? I think it's an old skit with Bryson DeChambeau in the back. So funny.
Trying to pronounce his
name. If he can play the whole game, the Dolphins win. If he gets concussed, different story.
Is he wearing a garden cap? Or is
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I know he said in the past that he was never going to wear it, so I suppose we'll wait and see.
It would be very weird seeing a quarterback wearing one of those things, but you never know.
If anyone's going to do it, Tua's a good candidate.
Maybe the storyline of the early window is Aaron Rodgers and his new team, the Steelers, go back to MetLife Stadium to take on his team of the last 2 years in the New York Jets. He's 41, I believe, as of opening weekend.
It's also Fields switching teams from Steelers to the Jets too. So,
exactly. Straight quarterback swap.
Yes. I was surprised how short the Steelers are in that. I thought they...
At $1.68?
Yeah, compared to $2.25. I would have thought that might have been slightly closer.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, Steelers maybe slightly better on defense, but you might argue some of the talent on the Jets offense is better. And we don't know. I guess we've got to see what Aaron Rodgers we get.
He's 41. He turns 42 in December. He's a few months off 42. Elijah Vera Tucker, torn bicep.
Season done.
Yeah, poor bloke before it's even started. Yeah, we'll see. Can Justin Fields sort of rebuild his career as a Jet? Definitely got the talent with his legs. We'll see what he can do as a true quarterback pocket sort of type guy.
Yeah, if you drafted Garrett Wilson, you're hoping he's going to get all the targets.
100%. Mm-hmm. This is a fun little matchup of two teams that potentially could be on the improve. The Raiders go to Gillette Stadium to take on the Patriots. The Patriots will start as $1.75 favourites. Mike Vrabel's first time coaching the team that he won 3 Super Bowl rings with, and completely new look lineup for the Raiders. New head coach, new quarterback, new running back in Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, and our first look at Ashton Genty in the NFL. This is a sneaky fun game.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely think so. There's a lot of interest, a lot of young players kind of trying to prove themselves. And, in the AFC, it's going to be an interesting game.
Big one for the Patriots. Well, both teams, actually, because their divisions pretty difficult.
Yeah, they're like the third or fourth in those divisions, and they want to keep in touch with the big guys.
For sure. Cardinals are super duper short going to the Saints, which speaks volumes to what pundits are thinking of New Orleans. Potentially,
worst team
it could be the worst team in football this year. Spencer Rattler will get the start. They did use a late first rounder on Tyler Shuck as well, so he'll be the backup for the foreseeable future. And it will be interesting to see, can we see this high end talent that we expect out of Marvin Harrison Jr. Didn't see heaps of it as a rookie. Be interesting to see how he goes tomorrow in the Superdome.
Yeah. We'll see. I think Kyler Murray is probably the big story. And he had an average year last year. He probably needs to return to some of his best.
Yep.
Maybe I don't want to say he's starting on the older side of his career, but eventually some of that athletic ability starts to wane and the QB play will become more important. So hopefully for him, target Harrison and get the win over a bad Saints team.
Kyler Murray could be like a Russell Wilson, really, in that he's a shorter guy, more mobile, use his legs a lot early on in his career, and then really needs to probably develop into a true pocket passer as that athletic skill starts to wane. But they're sure favourites tomorrow. A guy
Which is what Wilson really never achieved, unfortunately. He was very much a play action, throw it deep or run with it type quarterback. So
has a ring though.
Yes, true.
And a guy that
was 12 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. A guy that's in a similar boat to Kyler, actually, maybe just a slightly younger version, is former number 1 overall pick Trevor Lawrence. And can he be, the franchise man for the Jags? They'll start as favourites tomorrow against Panthers, and we see the NFL debuts of some electric players, Travis Hunter and Tataroa McMillan. So a bit of a funner game for some teams who, in their respective South divisions, probably aren't expected to do a whole lot. The AFC South, you never know. Like it's not a super duper strong division. The Jags get off to a good start under a new coach, potentially.
Yeah, if one of these teams plays good defense, they can go deep. That's how the Jags you've gone deep in recent memory have put together a surprisingly good defense and work off the back of it.
So Travis Hunter's going to play defense then?
So what I saw,
he's going to play some snaps.
Yeah, supposedly he's going to be starting wide receiver, rotational quarterback.
Yeah, like situational or
yes, So whether he's the slot corner, which means he probably would play a lot, or whether he's like a fourth corner or something like that, I don't know.
Yep. Could potentially line up on T-Mac. Different type of bodies. I think you're much more likely to see him as that star or nickel type corner.
Yeah. See.
There's some fun games in the late window. So the 6:20-ish starts down under. The 49ers will take on the Seahawks. $1.80 takes on the $2 Seahawks. And CMC fantasy owners will be spewing with the news yesterday that his calf is 50-50.
A day after the big weekend where everyone probably does the drafts, he's just like, he's got a slight injury, limited at practice, then didn't practice officially, but the vision of him on the side, like bounce around, looks okay. And it was funny. It was to the day where they did the press conference, and he says, "I feel I'm all right. I'm all good." That last year he said, "Oh, my Achilles is fine. I'll be right to play," and then he didn't play for most of the year. So, the flashbacks for CMC owners will be disappointing, and he's a big part of that team, and it's going to be interesting considering they're struggling for, say, wide receiver talent, and they have some. Just Brian Robinson walk straight in and get 20 touches. It'd be interesting to see how that team kind of plays out. But
is Juwan Jennings good to go for tomorrow? Is that
he's got a new contract? But I don't know if he's ready to play.
I think he's listed as good to go, but Ayuk is obviously not ready to go.
Ayuk's probably week 8 or 9.
Okay. So it could be a bit of a breakout start to the season, potentially for Ricky Pearsall.
George Kittle's going to get all the ball.
all good with me. Actually, I don't have him in our league this year. I've got him in a couple of other leagues. I love that, George Kittle. And then, Seahawks, how they're going to go with new quarterback at the helm. They host. Could be some sneaky value there.
Yeah, and an interesting Seahawks team as well. They have a new quarterback to see how they play. They're probably better than they were last year.
Jackson Smith in Jigba as well should get all the love in terms of...
See how Walker does. He's kind of been nursing an injury all pre-season. Jacques Charbonnet will probably get a bunch of ball.
Cooper
Kupp, that Horton as well. See how he rolls in there.
It's the 5th round from this year. I think Aaron honestly said he was a 2024 pick and he's from this year. Your Broncos, Sean, are the shortest team tomorrow at $1.22, taking on the Titans at home.
I was just like, oh no, the curse.
You like being underdogs for bits and pieces of last year, and now the expectations back on the Broncos, I guess.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to be going up against the worst team in football with a rookie quarterback.
Or worst team in the AFC, potentially.
Yeah, meant to have the best defense in football, and we'll see if that plays out. So Nick Bonito got paid during the week as well. So they've paid all their defensive stars good money. I hope they do well. It'll be a good test. I think the big interesting thing is who's RB1.
For Denver?
Yeah, whether it's going to be Dobbins or...
what do you think?
I think the start of the year is going to be Dobbins. But
Looks like he is.
That's kind of what they've all been listing. Harvey's done most of the preseason work. But Dobbins has had 2 carries, I think, all preseason. So I think they're kind of protecting the vet a little bit.
Munster's got PFF depth chart. I've got ESPN depth chart. Both have J.K. Dobbins starting ahead of RJ Harvey.
Yeah. So it'll either confirm or deny who gets the split. We'll see.
Cam Ward makes his debut for the Titans. Had a great year at Miami last year. Can sometimes be a curse though, going number 1 overall in the NFL. We'll see how he fares in his debut.
Yeah, Ridley probably gets the tan, and have to see if he's got some better options out there.
A great matchup tomorrow. The Lions take on the Packers. Lions $2.10. The Packers $1.78. It's news since our last pod, so we may as well talk about it. Although in the sporting world, it feels like it's a long time.
Old news, yeah.
Micah Parsons gets traded to Green Bay. So had sort of expressed interest that he wanted to trade.
Wanted to get paid
a few weeks ago, and we'd spoken about that on the pod. And a team that we probably didn't see him going to was Green Bay, who probably got away with one in terms of only sending 2 draft picks and Kenny Clark over to the Cowboys. My concern might be the contract. It's 4 years, $188 million, which is the highest contract for a non-quarterback in history.
Yeah, well, between him and Love, they're paying.
Yeah, it's
like half the salary.
It's a big. I don't think it's quite half, but it's a big chunk of their salary.
But also, I think the main you've done that and you sent away 2 your first round picks. Like you're in win now mode.
Has to be
essentially.
now.
Yeah,
Yep.
like trying to capitalize on your young talent. And I guess you think your young talent are wide receivers. You got more than enough of them floating around, and I guess Josh Jacobs is there. You've got all that talent on defense. The time is now, essentially. But it seems they weren't too sure about the back injury for Micah Parsons. He passed his physical, but they've found that it's actually probably a bit worse than they thought. And he may play. There's some rumors he might not, but if he plays, he might take an epidural to be able to do it. There's they're just giving him all that money and he's not going to be available, which maybe lines up with what Jerry Jones was saying, but.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know if you get an epidural, potentially a little cortisone injection into like his facet.
Or rumors, of course.
Yeah, that's right. Who the fuck knows? I'm talking out of my ass anyway. But as of today, will line up but will not play a full complement of plays per Ian Rappaport on Twitter.
Expecting him, say, long third downs.
Okay. Obvious pass rush situations potentially. Yeah, I think so if you have an
what was that cap hit, Jimmy? You there? It was 30 mil, almost 30 for Love, and you just closed it, did you? Oh, don't worry.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Regardless of what the exact numbers are, it's win now.
Yeah,
and both of them are in their prime. I think both 26, turning 27.
Got to be healthy. So, 30 and 20. We've got Gray there at 25 as well.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary.
So Parsons doesn't have a huge cap hit this year because his base salary is so low. But,
this year.
Yeah, this year. Yeah. But, if you looked at 2026 projections, it's going to be a little bit higher, I'd say. There you go. 36, 28. They've got Banks there at 24. Micah's at 20.
So invested on the defense and invested in the O-line as well, by the looks of those numbers there. Xavier McKinney, who came across last year from the Giants, had 7 picks, I think. Was really, really good. So looking pretty good on both sides of the ball. Jaden Reed, I think, is nursing a bit of an injury, so may not be super involved tomorrow. And we'll see the first-round draft pick. The Packers actually used the first-round draft pick on a receiver. So we'll see how Matthew Golden goes tomorrow in his NFL debut.
Which receiving target the Love favours in this one.
Never had one dude, has he? He's really spread the love around.
He's never had one healthy dude. So.
That's also true. Speaking of receivers, on the other side of the ball, Jameson Williams got his bag. So 3-year extension for $83 million.
Yeah, and I think he's got another, and that starts in 2028. He's got another 2 years left on his current deal. So
it's 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're lines of, obviously like what they're seeing. Whether they think maybe he's a sun god replacement long term, depending on how long they think Armand can play out the season, play out his career. It'd be an interesting one.
Quite different receivers. I think they complement each other pretty well.
Yes,
you know,
agreed.
Amon Ra, the high volume, lots of receptions type dude, and then the deep threat, spectacular catch kind of ability of Jameson Williams. Started to show last year how good he is after coming off an ACL early in his career.
Yeah, Lions need to prove themselves on defense. Got Hutchison back. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's close to game of the round. There's a good one in the AFC as well that we'll get to in just a second.
I think that Ravens-Bills game might top it. But yeah.
There is another game before that, the Texans and the Rams. The Rams start $1.70 favourites. Matt Stafford will get the start, has been also dealing with back issues throughout the preseason.
Yeah, I think they're overall pretty happy, but they rested all their stars through that. Texans are interesting because they're a little banged up. Christian Kirk pulled up with an injury, so he's going to miss this game. So for all those Higgins truthers, he looks like he's going to get plenty of game time with Collins. And, even what's the other bloke's name?
Jalen Knoll.
Knoll might actually get a fair bit of game time too. So, they're a little banged up to start the year. And, no Joe Mixon as well. Nick Chubb will have to take the carry, and we'll have to see if he's washed or not.
We'd love to see some old Nick Chubb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty close to the best running back in football a few years ago. So, obviously coming off 2 horrific knee injuries. And then, let's talk about it. Sunday Night Football could be the preview of the AFC Championship game.
The 2 MVPs.
Yep, that's right. The Ravens go to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Ravens will start slight favourites, $1.85 to Buffalo's $2. If that doesn't get you hot under the collar as an NFL fan, I don't know what will. What's our thoughts here, boys? This it has to be the 2 best teams in the AFC, given what we saw the Chiefs do yesterday.
Based on QB talent, these guys will put them into the playoffs on their backs alone. I think Bills I think they need to find receiver help. I think is the main thing. And not a lot of people might have noticed, but they added Gabe Davis back to their practice squad during the week. So bringing back the old deep threat for Josh Allen, and would not surprise me if he ends up seeing more game time than people expect.
Good player, but is he the difference? Is Gabe Davis the difference?
No, I don't think it's the difference, but he gives you the options. Because if the other guys are all banged up, and they've got a lot of retread dudes like Palmer and more have come, even Samuel have come across from other teams in the past, but done all right, but aren't like true number 1 guys. Coleman needs to improve. And
he's a high draft pick, and kind of underutilized a bit last year.
But really doesn't have that top end deep speed that you expect that maybe Davis could give them. And they've got really Shakir is the underneath guy, but he's been dealing with injuries all preseason. So I just, if it's not, unless they're running out 2 tight ends and going to throw it to Kincaid and knocks a whole bunch, and then smash the rock with Cook. I'm just not sure. Maybe that's how to start the season, but that's not how you win a Super Bowl. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I don't know. The Eagles didn't have a pass-heavy team last year.
True.
Eagles had a better,
but they had better wide receiver group if they
and
wanted
better
it.
offensive line, I would say, as well.
I think they're comparable sort of defensive sort of teams, and I think maybe the difference is if they get Derrick Henry to the king comes up.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are a better football team. I think they have more talent at a bunch of different positions. Like you say, Derrick Henry. It'll be interesting to see if DeAndre Hopkins looks anything like his old self, joined in the off-season. And they've also added a little bit on the defensive side of the ball, most notably Jair Alexander comes across from the Packers to strengthen an already very strong secondary.
Yep.
Monday Night Football, we'll see the Vikings go to the Windy City to take on the Bears. $1.87 for the Vikings, just favourites ahead of the Bears, around about $2. We'll see the debut of JJ McCarthy in his second NFL season. Had to sit out all last year after having his meniscus repaired. What do we reckon here? Can the Bears improve under Caleb Williams in their second year? Or, the Vikings, they win 15 games last year, 14 games last year. They were pretty good.
Yeah, they've defensively been better, and it's a true test for the best. Let's see what their offense is like. They've got a lot of talent, young talent there, and they've got they've got that quarterback in Williams. They've got to capitalize on it.
Adam Thielen did sign with the Vikings. So
Traded across from the Panthers.
Yep. So he comes across to finish his career there at Minnesota, where it all began.
Yep.
And
I'll probably slide straight in and get a good game time with the.
Yeah, with Addison suspended, he's
I think,
probably the two.
Naylor might also be nursing an injury as well. So, yeah, he could get plenty of game time.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the defense. So they've got some guys that really broke out last year on defense in Andrew Van Ginkel and Jonathan Greenard, and then a lot of experience at the back with Harrison Smith, although he might be nursing a bit of an injury too. But yeah, it's a prove it game on Monday night prime time for the Bears. Bears started last year really, really well, but
got Washington.
Yeah, that's right. It all went downhill after the Hail Mary and the Tyreek Stevenson stuff against Washington in about week 6 or 7, I think that was. Interesting note there. Through 2 games, it's a big asterisk, but Javonte Williams is running back 1, Quinton Johnston is wide receiver 1. It's worthwhile mentioning, given that Saquon Barkley has played, Isaiah Pacheco has played in terms of running backs, Hampton has played.
Lamb played for wide receiver.
CD Lamb played.
Yeah, I've seen some memes of people like I took Pitts in the first, and I went with Williams and Johnson second, third, and then in the fourth I've who did they add? I've forgotten now, but yeah, added Hollywood Brown. Like it was like I'm a genius kind of thing, but yeah, I'm pretty sure most of that's fake. But yeah, there's definitely some memes floating around about. But there's also people that are like, I've got AJ Brown,
like legitimate teams that could legitimately be good.
Brown, Worthy. I've got CMC coming up, and you're just like you're shitting yourself. Man.
Yeah,
it's
big
like,
time.
Yeah, it's some. That's fantasy for you. You make your plan, and then what's that Sun Tzu quote? You make a plan, and then when it hits battle, it goes out the window, kind of thing. So that's sort of shit.
I think it's everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
That's a Tyson quote.
That's a Tyson quote. Tyson's quoting Sun Tzu. Come on, guys.
I believe it was Buddha who once said,
"Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth." We'll see the first week of fantasy. First week of football. Very keen. We'll see some of the teams either do well or do bad, and take it from there.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I like how you've linked like a multi-million-dollar, probably billion-dollar organization just back to fantasy football. it's all about fantasy football.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people do, like, the fantasy side of things. Punting is all.
Well, yeah, it's. We got to remember in America for a long time, fantasy football was your engagement over betting on it. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
it's really only the last 5 years over there that all the DraftKings stuff has sort of come through.
And I'm going to use that as my segue, as in like that also drove a lot of commercials as well. But being able to serve that up to the people, and I think the big almost made Mopworthy for us, but ESPN got the rights to Red Zone to do the. Televising of that, they kept Chris Hansen. You'll come across Scott. Sorry, Chris Hansen, the pedophile dude. Might be. Yeah.
not confused with Scott Hansen.
No, the dude that does the show where he catches pedophiles. I think it's Chris Hansen. Anyway,
I'm scared to Google this anymore.
But yeah, Scott comes across, but then the rumor started that they're going to add commercials. Well, it was actually on McAfee. Hansen said on McAfee that he is. They have changed the slogan. There's no more
7 hours of commercial-free football.
They've dropped that bit. So I was right to catch a predator. It was in there.
There you go, Chris Hansen, television presenter, journalist. And his tenure as correspondent, he hosted the segment To Catch a Predator, 2004 to 2007. There you go, niche reference.
Yep. But what was interesting...
Pedophile, dude.
Bad phrasing.
Bad phrasing. I clarified. It's a dude that catches.
He catches. He's a good guy.
He doesn't participate. He catches. But then the ESPN kind of had to backtrack. Well, they haven't backtracked. They tried to clarify that it's not going to be commercials... over the top of content. I've seen lots of memes about like, big plays in the NFL. It's going deep. It's going to be catching the cat, and like get
DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yeah, or Whopper King, like Burger King, you get your Whopper Junior sort of thing. Like it just cut in the commercial. You miss the actual touchdowns. And you said you won't miss any touchdowns. They'll probably box in box, like they'll be in picture. And then what was interesting, all the ESPN shields, so like Adam Schefter and stuff like that, was putting out things as like they're only going to do seven or eight commercials. It's going to take up 0.5 15% of the time of television, you know, rah. But they've had thousands of people kill their subscription for Red Zone, for ESPN because of this. Because, you know, I guess they've signed up over the last 13 years, I think it is, for the 7 hours of commercial-free football, and not happy that it's got commercials in it.
It's one of the biggest draw cards in viewing of the NFL, isn't it?
Yeah, put it on and you enjoy it.
Does a great job. Scott Hansen, you know, he stands there for 7 hours without bathroom breaks or anything, and you know, jump in between. I'm a big consumer of Red Zone. I think it's great, and commercials.
Yeah, especially if you're waiting for your team to play, and
definitely throws a spanner into the works. And the other thing is as well, down here, DAZN had the rights, and then it's
because the ESPN is Disney's parent company.
Exactly. So
Disney is the parent company of ESPN.
So all these people down under have bought these expensive DAZN subscriptions, and if you've got Disney Plus,
you get Red Zone, but
you get Red. That's true. Yeah, so DAZN you'll get a few other perks with it, but if you
watch all the games, but you can't.
The main reason a lot of people had DAZN was for Red Zone. That's just going to be on Disney.
Yep.
So the reports are that there will be 4 15-second ads within the 7 hours.
There's going to be a minute of ads.
A minute of ads, allegedly.
I'm glad that's been clarified. I'm sure we can cop that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll wait and see.
That's a slippery slope.
Slippery slope.
Wait and
that's
see, but reports are it'll only be a minute worth of ads.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They should try to do it tactfully, but if it ends up being bad, well, they should just give.
It will be split screen.
They should just give Scott Hansen a like NASCAR type jacket, and he can just wear that the whole time with sponsorships on it. Like that could cover it. So
yeah, just wear Walmart's hat for like
you can wear a Walmart hat, DraftKings on one shoulder,
Get a Pfizer tie.
Yeah, exactly. All the major sponsors could do it that way. Sony on one side, Sell the real estate in the thing, like the product placement over running actual ads. Because I guarantee if you run ads over the top of football, that company will it'll be a detriment to them. Like it won't be beneficial to them. You'll be like, I don't like this company anymore because of the reason they run ads during my football.
So take your OnlyFans pocket protector out, Scott Hansen. We don't want to see it. All right, on that note, let's get into the final round. Usually we use this segment to talk some UFC, but it's been pretty quiet, really. So the card at the White House is happening. Is that
confirmed? They've got a date, June 30th, I think it is, next year.
I'm surprised it just didn't go July 4th.
I thought it was July 4th.
No, I don't think so. I think it leads up to it. Anyway, confirmed the date for that, and they confirmed a bunch of the details on how they're going to do it. So it seems from like a throwaway comment to a definitely. It's maybe 80-20 is happening, like it's much closer. The only other fights that happened, they had the Paris card today. Good if you're a French fan. The Frenchies went 5-0.
Really?
Yep, they won all their fights.
I saw Benoit Saint-Denis won one.
Got the submission there. So that was pretty good. And then
is Imavov fighting under a French flag? Does he? No, I don't think so. Is the answer to that question.
He might not have been fighting a Frenchie, though.
No, I think he does fight under a French flag. Yeah. French mixed martial artist.
Yes, so fights out of France. So they did pretty well. And
he's
then,
Dagestani.
Like you said, you've got UFC 320 there, which is a month away. So didn't think we needed to worry about previewing it now. It's a big card and it's got a lot of good names on it. But it's
a big stretch between drinks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shout out to Volk, just had another baby girl. Saw this week. October 4 in Las Vegas will be 320, headlined by Magomed Ankalaev taking on Alex Pereira for the second time, and then Corey the Sandman Sandhagen goes up to fight Marav Dvalishvili at bantamweight.
Is the next fight night in Perth, or is it the one after? Because there's 2 more fight nights before that UFC 320.
September 28th, which is grand final weekend, I think, for the AFL. Ulberg versus Reyes.
Yeah, right.
Junior Tuffer, Jimmy Krug, Jake Matthews.
That's got some good Aussie names, so yeah.
That'll be an interesting one to follow in 3 weeks' time for fight fans down under. We might actually have to do a little preview of that, given how many Aussies are fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Outside of that, it's been a bit quiet. They've done their big deal. It's a bit of a lull period, and then they get back into the big pay-per-views, yeah.
Yeah, that White House fight is 4th of July.
4th of July? Okay.
Imagine the security for that thing. Whew. Well, what a time to
We'll
be
just bring
alive,
in
eh?
the National Guard,
Yeah.
like he does everywhere else.
No politics.
Let's talk a little bit of football.
Yeah,
We'll do it here in the final round. The transfer window was pretty crazy towards the end of it, with your team, Liverpool, Monks, just going absolutely ham in the last 12 hours. But they finally landed their man, Alexander Isak from Newcastle United. Breaks the record just set by Florian Wirtz for most expensive transfer fee in EPL history. He goes for 125 mil, gets paid, that's in pounds, to Newcastle United. And it means between Wirtz, Isak and Hugo Ekitike, that's the three most expensive players in the transfer window through this summer, all going to Liverpool, which is pretty crazy. United had already spent big getting Sesko from Leipzig and Mbuemo from Brentford, and some other big names were Arsenal picking up Victor Gyökeres and Arsenal spending up on Eze and Zubimendi coming across as well.
I'll give a niche reference to the hardcores. The whole Kawhi Leonard thing in the NBA. The reason that's a big deal is so you don't become like the EPL.
Yeah, we didn't mention it before, but sort of off season for basketball, some really dodgy stuff allegedly happening with
allegedly.
Kawhi Leonard getting paid by some fake companies.
Well, real companies, but are getting paid for fake work, essentially.
Fake work, yeah, I don't know.
And considering their owner of the Clippers is, say, the richest owner in sports, he's just got a lazy $120 billion to his name. If they could pay players whatever they wanted, they'd become livable.
Clippers Steve Ballmer claims ignorance over reported $28 million Kawhi Leonard deal, says third-party company conned me.
I think that's largely bullshit, but I think we maybe get into that later.
As more things emerge.
Because it looks very, very likely that it was under the table, and it's just what does the league do? And for a comparison, I put it in the notes, before Joe Smith in 97, I think it was, with the Timberwolves. They reneged his contract. So they put a line through his contract and took 3 first-round picks from them, or 5.
Wow.
They took a lot. So
if they get
it's
found
a
guilty of
big
this,
punishment.
Yeah.
And again, the millions were different back then, but it's, as a percentage and the number was, it's a fair bit to pay a bloke to do absolutely nothing. Under the table. So
they're deny. Torres report, it's all false. Yeah, Ballmer also denied the allegations. Watch this space, because if they get found guilty of that, the league will...
I think it's Pablo Torres the journalist doing the investigation on that. And some of that, if you want to know more about it, check that out, because honestly, it looks pretty concrete.
We'll see how that plays out for NBA fans. And the salary cap is a hard one to get your head around in the NBA. Clearly, there is none in football, and it's always the same.
They have the
few teams that could win it.
They have, what's the wording they use? They have it's not like the spirit of the game or something, but it's like the actual funding, how you pay the players, has to be done in.
I know what you're talking about. Your club also has to be turning a profit. You can't be losing money and paying.
Sustainable. So.
Yes,
there's a sustainable thing in it, but there's also there's because this is what Man City, because they were supposedly paying overs for a bunch of blokes that they were breaching some sort of not set salary rule. So
Premier League profit and sustainability rules, PSR rules. Oh, you are allowed to lose money. You can lose £105 million over 3 years.
Yeah, but I think the idea is that you spend all that in a year trying to maximise to win, and then you're good for the following 2 years.
Premier League is moving toward a different system with the introduction of a squad cost ratio, limiting spending on wages and transfers to 85% of revenue.
Interesting.
Lots and lots of money involved in football. Who would have thought it?
Especially in the EPL.
Yeah. And through 3 rounds, the top 4 is Liverpool, 9 points. Chelsea 7 points. Arsenal 6 points. Tottenham 6 points. City's only one of the big clubs that got off to a poor start. I think they're about 13th. If Monks, if you wouldn't mind bringing up the standings through 3 rounds in the APL, there's kind of like of the big 6. It's almost 3 tiers as well. With Liverpool and Arsenal are both about $3. I think the sports bet last time I checked. Yep. Then you got to drop down to Chelsea and City, and then you got to drop down again to Tottenham. And I don't even know if you consider United part of the big 6 in terms of money. You do, but in terms of recent
not enough for talent. They've struggled to attract talent, unfortunately.
Yeah. So Arsenal, Liverpool first on 9 points, Chelsea second there on 7, Arsenal third, Spurs fourth. Everton got off to a good start, which is good. They really struggled last year. Were pretty close in the drop to being in the drop zone. Sunderland 6, Bournemouth 7, Palace 8 after winning the FA Cup.
2 losses.
Yeah, United a 9th, not Forest 10th. City down there on 13th. And then the drop zone at the moment is Fulham, Villa and Wolves. We'll keep an eye on it as more of the season plays out. But it was pretty crazy end to the transfer window. And it's certainly Liverpool loaded everywhere, but particularly up front now with Wirtz, who's probably going to be like a 10. They play a 4-3-3, so I don't know. He might have just end up being like a centre mid. And then Isaac comes across to along with Ekitike to join Salah. Will be pretty formidable striking unit.
Yeah.
International break, so no EPL this weekend. We had the Socceroos play in Canberra, actually, getting a win against the All Whites. That's New Zealand's team. Max Ballard scored a winner on debut against the All Whites, and the World Cup qualifiers kicked off for Europe, which is crazy to think of. They've just started their World Cup qualifiers, and Socceroos obviously qualified a couple of months ago. A lot of the other countries already.
Is anyone in Europe not going to make it?
What do you mean?
Like what teams in?
There's a lot of countries in Europe.
But which ones won't make the World Cup?
Well, the tiny little poo ones. Like
I was working my way from west to east.
I don't think Estonia's going to make it. Well,
the further east you get, the less likely they play.
I don't think Luxembourg is going to be there. Even so, I don't know. Are you asking like any of the big teams of risk? Germany lost. So I think Germany lost to Slovakia but it's only week 1. It's only the first round of it. So pull that up, Monks. I'm asking you to do a lot.
But I guess my follow-up question, how many teams are they going to take from Europe? Because was it 64 or something?
No, it's 48. 48 for the next World Cup. So
and then 64 after that?
No.
Where did I get 64 from then?
They haven't announced anything for 64. I don't think you made it up.
I do that quite often.
So it's a massive...
I'll do some Googling.
So it's a massive jump, obviously from 32 to 48. I actually don't know off the top of my head. Europe will get probably a few more positions. So Monks got it there. So Germany lost in round 1. Anyone else big? France got their points. Spain got their points. Keep scrolling down. Portugal got their points.
Netherlands drew one.
That doesn't make sense either, because if you scroll up, some of them have only played 1 game, but then some have played like 3. Yeah. I got no idea how it's all working. The only big team to lose over the weekend was Germany. Watch this space. We'll work out more of our international qualifiers.
Down in the groups you go, the more they've played.
Yeah, I can't make sense of that at all.
I found the 64 number. They played 64 games in the previous World Cup. To 104 matches.
Yeah, it's massive. It's a massive jump. 48. There's only 200 or so FIFA nations. So it's now a quarter of the teams will make the World Cup. But I thought it was interesting that they're so far behind, and it shows how much they'll play now in the next few months in their
and that's at the US National World Cup?
Yeah, US, Canada, and Mexico.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a 3 country World Cup, which is pretty fun. It's not that far away. It's only 9 months, I think. It's the summer of next year. Yeah, click on that. June 11.
Yeah, before the NFL and college football sort of.
Yeah, you don't want to clash with that. I don't think.
If you want some stadiums to be available.
Well, playing in those stadiums.
A lot of them are, and I think a lot of them, the ones that have artificial turf, they roll out.
There? If you scrolled. There. It's
for venues.
Yeah,
MetLife, AT&T,
Arrowhead, NRG, Mercedes-Benz, SoFi. Lumen. They're all NFL fields.
Yeah. Lincoln as well. Hard Rock.
So those AstroTurf ones, they actually roll out actual grass on them.
That's right. Yeah, they're going to put grass fields on, aren't they?
And then 3 in Mexico? Guadalajara, Monterrey.
Toronto, Vancouver. Was there 1 in Ohio for Canada? No,
so
2 in Canada.
Yeah, so Canada not getting much of a look in. Anyways, it's 9 months off. It's pretty interesting. Can you go to Europe there for qualifying? You should be able to find the numbers as well. Because, it's a good question, Shauno. There's qualification. So 6 from the AFC, 3 automatic from CONCACAF, which is North America, so they'll have a few more. So those are just
who have qualified.
They're qualified already. So 6 from South America, CONMEBOL, that's already done. They'll be, I think whoever finished 7th will play a knockout there. New Zealand's already through. Yep. So then I think they've still got maybe 5 African teams to come through. They'll have some of maybe 3 more North Americans. And then scroll down, Monks, you should be able to find Europe. It's just going to be whatever the leftover from that is. It might be close to 20.
That's now breaking down the actual tournament.
Yeah, you need to find wherever UEFA is up there and then click on it, and it should actually tell you.
UEFA playoffs.
Everyone guess. I'm gonna guess 20 out of 48.
20.
Yeah, that's probably less than that. You can go lower. Guess 18 maybe.
Well, how many did we have there already?
Yeah, but you can't. We won't be able to tell perfectly from there because I know I was thinking if only Asia and South America is complete there.
Yeah, just hit the UEFA thing.
I reckon I can ask Google a bit quicker.
Probably.
How many teams?
I'm so confused.
From Europe
ChatGPT, tell me.
will qualify for the World Cup. Oh, it's just taking me straight to Wikipedia.
Qualification UEFA 20.
It's 20. 12 outright, 8 best runners up, 20 teams. ChatGPT's in my head, dude. A little shout out was just about going to be a shout out beer, but Sam Kerr has been cleared to play after doing her ACL, I think over a year ago now.
Yep.
She was available for Chelsea, but didn't get off the bench, I don't think. But Ellie Carpenter, Socceroos, or Matilda's teammate, I should say, made her debut for Chelsea over the weekend too. So it'll be interesting to see them two link up when Sam's good to go.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk some F1.
Get us a vroom.
Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, and I think it's Abbott that using that fast there because they're at Monza tonight. You said at the Temple of Speed, and that was confirmed by Max Verstappen. We looked at it. He's set the fastest recorded lap in F1 history for an average, 266 kilometres as an average, and did set the lap record for Monza at the same time. So that's pretty impressive. He gets a pole just a couple tenths ahead of Lando and Oscar, who are right on his tail. So that'll be a pretty interesting race in about an hour's time. That will kick off. Last week they were in the Netherlands at Zandvoort. Oscar ends up winning that comfortably in a pretty dominant race from him, honestly. They had 3 safety cars restarts, and he controlled all of those. Ended up being a bigger jump in points for him because Lando had the engine failure and didn't score any points. So that takes him out to a 34-point lead on the championship. And with 9 rounds to go, including this one? Is it 9 or is it 8?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well done.
9 rounds, including Monza. It's going to be probably tough to close that gap, but we will see. That is the competition. Oscar, as I mentioned, will start behind Lando in this one. We'll see. Last year, first corner, Max and Lando ran into each other. So
wow.
It's a long straight that turns into a big S, like a very. When I say big S, it's a small tight S that ends up being a very big moment. Let's say. So we will see how that plays out.
That's the second time that Lando DNF or finished outside of the points, I should say. Do you remember what happened in Canada? Was that
he crashed into Oscar?
Failure?
I remember. That's why he ran up his ass and into the wall.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. So and that's where Oscar finished 4th after dealing a little bit of damage to him. So
right.
Yeah, that's I guess some difference in the points.
That's those 2 races right there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. But otherwise, Piastri was very dominant in that race there in Zandvoort. He got pole. He led every lap, won the race, and there was a 4th thing. He completed the Grand Slam essentially for a race weekend. So very, very good.
5 races in a row that he's finished in the top 2 for Oscar.
Yeah. Keep that up, and that will make him world champion. The constructors basically dominated McLaren. No one's even close.
Race for second.
There's race for second there.
Which is interesting because Ferrari's 260, Mercedes 248, Red Bull a little bit off it in 214, but there's still 3 teams fighting for that second spot.
Yeah. Last week as well, Isaac Hadja did finish in 3rd place for his first podium as a rookie, first Red Bull rookie to do that as well. So been some interesting chat about whether he takes the Noda's spot and how he's actually said he'd rather stay at RB, Visa, Cash App, whatever that team's called. So it's, what's it called? Racing Bulls Honda RBPT is the current team name. Because that car, by all accounts, is not very good, and Max Verstappen is a freak. And that's why it's as dominant as it is. So, they a bit of push to make the Red Bull car better before you step up in it. Because everyone that's sat next to Max Verstappen has struggled.
He's only 20, young Hadja, and he has only had 14 starts. So pretty impressive to find the podium. French media is already squeezing the mayo on him. Le Petit Prost is what he's known as in France. So obviously Alain Prost, racing royalty, probably the best French driver ever. I'm not a big F1 dude. But like you said, hard to be that second if he does end up getting the spot there.
Yep. Outside of that, the other news, Gasly resigns with Alpine. He'll stay there for, I think, another 2 seasons. They suck. They start 19th and 18th, I think. Have not scored. Colapinto, who replaced Doohan, has not scored a point yet. So, and I think they've only scored 20 points and are bottom at the moment. So no points from the 2 other Alpine drivers and 20 from Gasly at the moment. But they, like I said, suck. They're down there with Haas, I think, for constructors at the moment. Yes.
And Alpine. Alpine and Haas.
Haas and Saab are a little bit ahead of that with the Racing Red Bulls. Outside, the last bit of driver news, Cadillac finally confirmed their lineup for next season. We get Perez and Bottas. The old vets will come back. And then Colton Herta, who is a IndyCar driver, won a couple of races this year, didn't win the IndyCar competition, is going to be their reserve driver, and I think drive Formula 2 as well next year, trying to get into F1. So that's pretty cool. We've talked a little bit about SVG going to NASCAR. Austin Centric, who's in NASCAR, is going to come out here and do supercars, do the enduro races. We talked about the Aussies like Scott McLaughlin and Will Power in IndyCar. It's now to see an IndyCar guy come across to F1. Like, it's kind of a bit full circle with the best trying to get in and compete with the best in F1. So I think that's a pretty cool thing, and that's a pretty solid entry lineup for Cadillac to have some 2 wily vets that have been there and won plenty of races between themselves.
Yeah, definitely experienced, not ancient. So Perez is currently 35, Bottas currently 36, so you can add another year by the time they're racing. I always do wonder about it in the F1 when your reaction time starts to dwindle. I've got to imagine it's late 30s.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You have the ancient dudes like Hamilton and Alonso, and then everyone else is like early. You've got all the kids that come through every year. They've got 6 rookies, and they're all early 20s.
The oldest champion was Juan Fangio back in 1957 at the age of 46, but definitely different times.
Fangio, I think, won 4 or 5 world champions. He's a pretty good driver in his day. So, there's plenty of young fellas come in for early, and then you go through into your early 20s and that, and then if you really haven't succeeded, if you don't become old in F1, you're at the door and someone else replaces you.
It's just like a lot of sports, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not elite by your late 20s, that's your career.
Yeah, and I guess with F1, there's 20 spots going to 22.
Yeah. Very competitive.
It's very, very competitive to have a job. And I know Jimmy's got Daniel Ricciardo there. He's officially retired. He's going to join Ford Racing as their marketing ambassador.
Yep.
Because I think Ford Racing's trying to get back into motorsport more globally than, say, what it does here in supercars. And pushing their Raptor brand a little bit. But the big one is they're going to be engine supplier for Red Bull Racing, I think, next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
So that was all the, I guess, social media hype. He dropped a post alluding to him working with Ford in some capacity. So everyone was thinking he's linked back to F1, but then he came out saying that it's just that marketing ambassador.
Yeah, he's not going to jump into any sort of other form of motorsport. I think he's probably had enough of it. Considering he's been doing it for 20, 25 years, however long it is, since he started his career as a young fella. So, yeah.
Yep. Probably doesn't need the money.
Interesting on wins for Oscar Piastri because you're looking at that
Just went past Danny Rick.
and equal Mark Webber. So if he wins the night, he'll be the winningest. No, that can't be right because we looked this up. Who was the Aussie that won it? The other, it's not both of them.
Most F1 wins by
An Australian.
yeah.
But they might not have raced.
Bradman?
Bradman, yeah. He is a world champion. He'd have won it. So how many wins has he got?
14. Alan Jones 12. So he's equal with Webber. So we'll go ahead of Webber with a win tonight or in the next few weeks. Pretty hard to actually win them because the list is extensive for guys that have
For Australians that are raced.
that have had a few races, but to actually win them,
We look at Mark Webber. He had
1, 2, 3,
215
4.
starts and only 9 wins.
There's only 5 Aussie F1 guys that have won races. So Brabham, Jones, Webber, Piastri, Ricciardo.
Yep. Yeah, like Bradman had 126 starts, won 3 championships, and only won 14 races in his career. But 31 podiums. Like, if you can't win them, just make sure you finish second or third. Keep getting those points rolling over.
He's a knight, Sir John Arthur Brabham. There you go. Well, I think that'll do us for tonight. Obviously, one of our favourite sports about to kick off in the NFL. Enjoy your beers, courtesy of the Esky NFL fans. That's an expensive shout.
Yeah, NFL, don't send us a tab, please.
What else is happening? We've got NRL week 1 of finals next week.
Yep.
We've got
AFL
6 teams left in the AFL. That'll be 4 by this time
US
next
Open
week.
winner as well.
Yeah, that'll be early morning tomorrow. Sinner versus Alcaraz. We'll see what happens with the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard over there in the F1.
Wallabies action now that we're actually following them a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, look, it's at home. You don't want to. They only just got over the line last night, but if they could beat Argentina and start 3-1 before they play New Zealand, that's good stuff. It means they probably won't come last in the championship. And then it's only a couple of years away from a World Cup down under, so maybe trending in the right direction for rugby in this country. Who knows?
Fingers crossed.
All right, this is On The Esky. It's a sports podcast. We like our Aussie sport. We like our international and US sport. Please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and the like. Hit that subscribe button if you're coming across this podcast for the first time on the YouTube. I'd say we'll be back in 2 weeks' time to preview the AFL Grand Final, have a look at the UFC 320, talk all things NRL Finals, and we'll have a gauge of what the NFL's looking like amongst some other sports too. We'll catch you then.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.